Welcome to the journey of 1,000 mistakes. This week was awesome. Yep, I already messed it up, but it doesn't matter because it's all about making mistakes and learning from it. So next time, I'm going to prepare more before I start speaking. But this is not about making mistakes. It's about running because that's what I did last week. Every single day for 5 days, I went running. I've been running on and off in the past for maybe a couple years. For the longest time, I hated running. My logic was, why would I run when I can either walk and take my time or take a bike and get there faster? But then a few years ago, I discovered, you know what? I actually like running. Let's say midway through the day, take a break, go for a run, just clear my mind, spend some energy. It's actually really amazing. And I normally stop during the winter, so I haven't been running for almost 6 months now. And I've been wanting to get back into it for the past few weeks because it's finally starting to get warm. But I just kept finding excuses all the time. Oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, it's too cold. It's raining. Reasons after reasons after reasons. So finally, I'm like, you know what? Let's make this a challenge. I'm going to force myself to do it. And I did, and it was awesome. I have my times here. I'm going to quickly go over it. But before that, I'd just like to mention something. And this is, there's going to be 2 parts to this. And the first one is the things I did good, speaking about the challenge, and then the few things I didn't do so well this week. I know I kind of skipped over that in the past by not doing my journal anymore, but I want to bring that back because I feel it has a lot of value to it. So we'll get to that later on. So for now, let's begin with times. On Monday, I ran for 30 minutes, 36 seconds. I did the math, it's approximately 6.2 kilometers, the trajectory I did. And that's more than I normally do because in the past when I'd run, it'd be around 18 to 20 minutes on average. I felt like that was enough time to just really get my blood pumping, push myself to the limit without completely destroying my knees and just having to spend so much time doing that. So that first day was good in the sense that I was so happy to be running again, but it almost killed me because it was my first time running in nearly 6 months. But it was still really good. I was happy. Because I haven't run that long in at least a couple of years. I don't really know how long. So I was really proud to have done that. Now, the second day was way worse because I was completely destroyed from the first day. My knees hurt. Every single step was painful, but I took it as a challenge. So I pushed myself. Every step, every stride had to be a little longer than the previous one. And even though the entire time was miserable, I beat my first time by 40 seconds. Now, it's not really that much when you consider the fact that it's a 6.2 kilometer run, but still, I was really proud of that. Now, on the third day was better physically because I didn't feel as exhausted, but not quite as good because I got 30 minutes, 10 seconds. So a little better than the first day, but worse than the second day. But that's okay. It's kind of like up and down. I was starting to finally hit my stride. I was feeling happy. I knew the path I had to take, so everything was going really well. But that kind of took a turn on Thursday. Not only did I forget my watch, so I have no idea how long it took, but I was completely exhausted for the second half hour. Because the first half hour is straight, then it goes down a bit, and the way back is pretty much slow uphill the entire time. And I was destroyed by the end of the first half. You know when you see those people jogging and they're jogging slower than you're walking? Yeah, that was me. It was so bad. I was exhausted the whole time. I just wanted to quit, but I didn't. I just kept pushing myself, and I finally got back. And in retrospect, it's actually really good that I forgot the watch because my time would have been horrible. It would have been depressing. So that was a good thing. Now, day 5 was by far the worst and the best. It was the worst because I had a hard time focusing that day. So instead of going to run at around 11, 12 in the morning, I waited till later in the afternoon to go. And obviously, it started raining. So I waited a couple hours hoping it would clear up, but it didn't. That left me with 2 options. Either I skip the run, fail the challenge, or I go for a run in the rain. Took me a while to figure it out and finally pump myself up, but I finally went for the run and it was awesome. Because it was raining, it wasn't as hot. I was really focused on trying to beat this because I saw it as a challenge, really push myself because it was the last day of the challenge. Also because it was rain, it wasn't fun. So I'm like, you know what? Let's really push myself. Like I have something to prove. So every single stride was focused. I tried to have perfect form. And also I shifted the way I breathe. Normally I inhale for 2 steps and then exhale for 2 steps. This time I inhaled for 2 steps and exhaled for 3 steps. And that made a huge difference because I wasn't always feeling winded. I had more energy. I was more focused on my steps. So that was a really good thing. And I ended up doing 29 minutes and 5 seconds. So I beat my original time by 1 minute 30 seconds. So I haven't really done the math. I think that's 5% quicker. I'm not 100% sure. I may sound like an idiot right now, so I don't want to assume anything. But still, I'm really happy that as I did this, I was progressively getting better, always pushing myself. I'm just happy overall that I did it. Because more and more getting that fresh air, getting that exercise has been a really good thing. Especially because of the past few challenges I did. I haven't worked out for 3 weeks, and I really needed to get back into it. And of course, after 2 weeks, I was ready to get back, and then I burned myself, so I couldn't lift anything heavy, so I couldn't work out. So this week was the first time I started working out again. So working out and running again combined was amazing. So that was the really good thing that happened this week. Now the bad thing is, for the past few weeks, I started trying a different approach to my routine. Instead of blocking down everything I had to do during the day, for example, for the first 2 hours of the day, I'd write, and let's say another couple hours would be on editing, another few on, let's say, updating my website. And that's what I do in the past, and it would work well, but I'd always get the feeling like I'm not making any progress because I'm only working so short a period on a thing that I'm just not advancing. So for the past few weeks, I did something different, and I really focused on one thing every week. So let's say 1 week I focused on creating the course. That's when I filmed all the videos, I did the editing and everything. And it was really productive. I got to the end of the days feeling like, oh my God, I got so much done. But because of the way I structured it, I didn't have time to do everything by the end of the week. So I just got to the end of the week and felt like, okay, I worked so hard, I did all those things, but was it really worth it? Because I didn't finish what I was trying to do. And then because I planned everything in advance, I get to the next week, I'm like, oh, I'm behind on this thing, but I already have to start this next thing. So it just ended up stressing me out more. So it was good and bad. It was really good because it got me focused in the zone, really moving forward quickly on one project. But at the same time, because things tend to happen all the time, you can never predict anything, it would always take longer. So I'd never finish by the end of the week and I'd feel dissatisfied. So I really want to keep tweaking this, try different versions, see what's the best strategy for me. I'll come back to you on that. So just a reminder about this. Just keep trying to tweak things. It doesn't matter if you're not perfect. Remember the start of the video where I messed up in the first 3 seconds? That's okay. It's part of life. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have, obviously you're not going to be perfect because no one's perfect. Because the perfect definition of perfection is you do something and then you perfect it. There's no such thing as being perfect. Anyway, so yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to look like an idiot. Don't be afraid to let yourself or anyone else down because it's going to happen. I'll give you an example. I have to move out by the end of next month. So that leaves me a month and a half to find an apartment. I've been looking for the past few weeks, haven't really been finding anything. And even though logically, I know I still have tons of time left, and I always have backups. So no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. But there's always that stress building up and building up. And I keep looking and trying new things. And I'm like, should I just settle for a place I'm not happy because of the whole coronavirus? I can't really visit. So everything's so limited and I really don't know what to do and it's stressing me out. Yet at the same time, I know, why am I stressing out? It's not helping me. It's not making a difference. I just have to trust that everything's going to work out. So yeah, just don't be afraid to mess things up. Don't be afraid to not know what's going to happen, because that's what life is. You never know what's going to happen next. And what's the point of stressing, of being miserable, of working so hard to get somewhere when odds are you're not even going to get there? So if you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to get to the end. What's the whole point of this? You're going to be miserable your whole life. Anyway, I feel like I'm diverging so much. Time to get back. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed this challenge. I suggest you start pushing yourself. It doesn't have to be physically, it can be mentally, it can be learning something new. Doesn't matter. Start pushing yourself. Because now that we're slowly becoming or starting to come out of this whole pandemic mindset, yes, it's still going to go on for a while, but people are starting to get used to it. So now's the perfect time to get back to your old routine, to start pushing yourself again, start making mistakes. So thank you so much for being here. And as usual, don't be afraid to go make a mistake.